and welcome to Val di Fiemme in Italy for the penultimate day of the Tour de Ski for 2010-2011. And this is a stage where everything could change. So many bonus points on offer today. Here's the men's course, 20 kilometres in all. Mike, the key areas for you.
Key areas, the big climb here. This rise is a total of 65 metres from the low point to the high point. Big descent there, but then the final sprint each time to the bonus seconds.
So here they are on the start line, and although it's a mass start, it is slightly staggered according to your position in the Tour. So Cologne out the front of the field wearing one for Switzerland, the Tour leader. Hellner is there. Nortug for Norway in the red in bib number 3. Martin Jaks of the Czech Republic 4. Alex Harvey of Canada 5. After a brilliant race from Cortina to Dobiaco, he's put himself in within striking distance of the leaders. 1 minute 56 off the lead, but he is only some 40 seconds off second place. So Harvey could make historical moves today for the Canadians, and a little bit of a blow, Mike, for Devin Kershaw, who was lying in second, now down in 10th place, over 2 minutes behind.
Yes, he really hit his fatigue point at the top of the climb from over to Toblach 2 days ago, and from 37 seconds behind Cologne, he's down in 10th position. He can fight back today, but he needs to pick up a lot of these 15-second bonus points.
Yeah, well, that's going to be absolutely crucial. The man, the master of the bonus this year has been Dario Cologne. He's picked up 2 minutes 58 seconds of bonuses, which really essentially put him in front. He's only 1 minute 11 clear of second place, and absolutely crucial for him. He only picked up just over a minute of bonuses last year, finishing down in third. A couple of interesting facts, Mike, perhaps the most. 3 of the top 4 from last year are in the top 3 this year. Cologne, Hellner, Nortug.
I think it's quite amazing. It shows the strength of those 3 athletes and really the desire, how much you want to win this. It comes down to desire when the body is as tired as these athletes' bodies now are. They're all saying, well, we felt it of day 3. Of course, they had 4 consecutive days for the first days of the Tour before they had a day off.
Yeah, this, of course, is leg 7 of 8. And the whole programme being run in a 10-day period. Still, Jörg Kapal, who really is the mastermind behind this, along with Vegard Ulvang. In fact, those two sitting in a sauna 6 years ago came up with the concept of a Tour de Ski, and this is what it's risen to. Bigger viewing figures every year, bigger fans, although it's disappointing in Oberhof, and Kapal said as much. But always thinking of new ways to run it, just tweaking the bonuses, trying to make it fair. His biggest task, Mike, is trying to make the last day exciting. They don't just want the Tour de France effect where you just cruise into the finish and you know the result before the last day. They want that climb up the Alpe d'Huez to be a massive climax.
Oh, I know it would be fantastic if it was, but look at Dario Cologne. He's the man who has led this from the gun to 1.7, so he really is setting out his intent early on.
Yeah, if he picks up a bag full of bonuses today, that may well be the end of the Tour. And from the way that Petter Nortug, who lies in third, from the way he was talking, I think he thinks that Cologne has got this one in the bag. He's got to stay healthy. He was doing a lot of coughing and spluttering after the 35k race from Cortina to Dobiaco. There was a little bit of concern, but I think that was just a dry throat from racing at relative altitude for so long.
Well, it's interesting, you know, the one aspect that we've seen since the beginning of this Tour is Nortug's sprint form, his old master sprint form, is coming back. And certainly it's about a double poling section before the bonus at 3.3 kilometres, each rotation every 3.3. So I think he could line himself up for at least 1 minute credit today in this race.
Well, that'd be interesting. One man we do need to talk about, the defending champion.
Lucas Bauer, he struggled a little bit. He hasn't quite had the magic which he showed us last year, but I don't think we can write him off yet, Patrick. He's 2 minutes 5 behind, but like Nortug, he has to try and pick up so many of these
bonus seconds.
1.5 minute seconds.
Yeah, Bauer picked up 60 seconds of bonuses last year, as well as recording the fastest time on this leg. And we're looking for a time of around the hour. Very difficult waxing conditions. There was pandemonium in the technicians' huts this morning. The temperatures hovering around 0. And, of course, with the course going up the hill and down again, the temperature at the top is different from at the bottom. You almost have to choose where you want your skis to work perfectly.
It's always difficult here, mostly man-made snow. This is the intent now. They're coming up to the 3.3 marker, and basically you need to be in the top 5 at the top of this rise. Lucas Bauer setting out his stall early.
Yeah, Lucas Bauer has gone for it. Peter Northug is in there, but I don't think he's getting a feature. We've got Dario Colonia on the near side. Doesn't want to let that lead of his evaporate by losing out on bonuses, so he is competitive. Philbrick for Germany, trying to get up with the money. There's Alex Harvey going through, number 5, looking very good at the moment, but way off the pace as far as the bonuses are concerned. And Devon Kershaw seems to have taken not only a physical block, but a mental one, Mike. He's down in 20th position, and just doesn't seem to have the spark that he had in the first 5 days.
I'm just looking at the Canadian boys there. I'm wondering if they're letting the rest fight out for this first time, and then maybe they'll come back in. They will know the pace will slow down after the sprint.
Well, it looks as though we've got Martin Yax, we've got Lucas Bauer in there, trying to pick up which of the Swedes. It may be Danny Ricketts.
Look at Northug coming through. He's coming through like a rocket.
Yeah, Northug's going to take them all by surprise. He's gone straight past Dario Colonia, and now he just eases down. He'll stay in front, keep a careful eye on the men to his right. That's Gaillard of France alongside him. Northug just needs to be a little bit careful. Still some way to go. That was phenomenal acceleration. He could pay a price for that. Here comes Dario Colonia. He's going to challenge Northug. Northug's seen him coming and will accelerate, looking for those 15 seconds. But the bad news is that Colonia's going to pick up 10 at least. There are the first bonuses decided, Mike. If this race continues like this, these men are going to be dead by the time they get to the halfway stage.
That was amazing. It was almost like Northug was taunting the rest. Come on, give us your best. I'm back.
Yeah, he's been saying to the media in all the press conferences, in fact, the Norwegian team holding a press conference, and he's been saying that I know things aren't going quite so well, but I do feel a lot better than I did at this stage last year. That's ominous for the rest of the field. The sort of speed we saw from him then with 200 metres to go, Mike, quite impressive. And that's the first bit of sparky action we've seen from Northug this year.
Oh, very much. I don't want to put a negative on it, but at the top of the rise, maybe it's this section, I did see Northug throwing in quite a lot of skating steps, so he needs to be careful.
Well, we may get a replay. I don't think there'll be protests.
It was on the left-hand bend, and I noticed Gaillard. You have to skate or step around some of the bends, but you do have to be careful.
Well, the pace eases up as we get confirmation of the bonuses. Northug 15, Colonia 5, Gaillard 5. It's Colonia with 10. So that's pretty useful bonuses. If Colonia gets any on each of the pit stops or each of the sprint points, Mike, he's certainly going to run away with the Tour. What Northug's got to hope for is that Bauer comes up alongside him and claims Gaillard stays strong. They need some more challenges for those sprint points.
They do. Martin Yax was up there, as you say, and Decenta, Giorgio was only in 6th place there, just 3 seconds off Northug. So I think the next rotation round, things are going to change drastically, but the man in black, I think we can predict he'll always be up there, Colonia.
Yeah, he'll always be keeping half an eye on it. The other tactic, of course, Mike, is to do what Bauer did and break away from the field and stay ahead for 2 or 3 of those bonus points, because you'll pick up 15 every time. That might be an easier way to do it, and this is the part of the course where you can make breaks. Number 7, that's Danny Ricketson, looking strong, 8th in the Tour last year, lying 7th at this stage. He'd like to improve on last year's performance, and judging by his intent today, I think he's looking for a top 5 finish. Devon Kershaw didn't play a part in that first sprint, but has got right up with the group. And I guess, Mike, when you've got the big names all going for the sprints, it means that the pack should then concertina together, because the pace at the front slows right down after each of the sections.
Absolutely. Well, there's the real time in the Tour, 1:35 back to Helmer.
Yeah, and Northug 1:44, so just 9 seconds behind runners-up position. And Northug saying yesterday, I don't know how much bluff was involved, but saying, I just want to finish on the podium. That's my aim. I'll consider that good work.
And I think the way that Northug started his season, he's got to be delighted right now with the way his form is coming back. Closing in on the World Championships, of course.
Well, good atmosphere here in Val di Fiemme. Of course, the World Championships have been hosted here, the Nordic World Championships, a couple of times. And the they certainly know how to set out a course. And the Italians are always quite adventurous, Mike. They believe in steep uphills, steep downhills, sharp corners, and of course the long, flatter sections, which makes for good tactical racing.
I love this course, and all the athletes are saying they feel it's one of the most testing. That huge 60-metre in terms of height rise, that's a huge climb. And as you mentioned earlier, I think the grip wax under these skis could well play a part as this track becomes more icy.
Yeah, it will certainly get glazed as the race goes on. Lukas Bauer moves to the front for the first time alongside Peder Northug. These two could try and turn up the pace. Lukas Bauer, last year's winner, 2 minutes 5 seconds down on the leaders. But really, Mike, one of the revelations of the Tour so far, Martin Jacks, who's in 4th place.
He's outstanding this year. He certainly had 2 bad seasons in terms of his younger form. He was very good as a junior. But I think that when the World Championships went to Liberec, he overtrained for that, and it's taken him a year and a half to come back. And he didn't have a whole lot of success at the World Champs in his home country.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Look at his World Cup standings last year, 140th down in the World Cup rankings at the end of the year. 23rd in 2008. That was much closer to his actual level. But he's been really determined. There he is on the far side, wearing number 4, strong classic skier. And he's had the benefit of training with Lukas Bauer over the last couple of years. But it does show the dangers of overtraining and over-racing. 5-kilometre mark coming up, and that, of course, is the quarter distance mark for this race. 20 Ks in all today, and then the Alchemies tomorrow, which goes down as a 10-kilometre freestyle race. It's anything but. It's a brutal climb up the Alchemies, a downhill slope that they finished the Tour on. Never that closely fought, Mike, but you never know when anyone's going to hit the wall and fade completely.
Absolutely, and Dario Colonia, he's just concentrating at the moment, giving everything. His whole mind is focusing on staying in the top 5. Well, that's why he's leading by 1 minute 35.
Yeah, a word for a couple at the back. Francesco Sully and Callum Watson of Andorra and Australia, still within that 15% margin, so they could complete the Tour.
He's back. Our man Joe is on the trail of 4 awesome maverick riders. They've heard the call of the wild. They're always ready to push the limits. And where they go, our man is bound to follow. Free Ride Spirit Season 2, every Tuesday night at 10, only on British Eurosport.
Discover Free Ride Spirit, brought to you by Nissan Ormo Technology. Thanks to ProtectYourBubble.com. When Squeak ruined his laptop, he didn't have to splash out for a new one. Thanks to ProtectYourBubble.com, when Squeak lost his iPod, he wasn't downbeat for long. And thanks to ProtectYourBubble.com, when Squeak had his iPhone stolen, he knew it could be replaced within 48 hours. At ProtectYourBubble.com, we know how important your gadgets are. With our great value gadget insurance, you fit the policy to the gadgets you own. ProtectYourBubble.com. Insure your gadgets today.
Like products of precision engineering, accurate in their play, for hour after hour. Only when it's over is there any sign of emotion. World Snooker and the London Masters, tomorrow afternoon, live on British Eurosport 2.
Welcome back to Val di Fiemme. The pace has picked up because they're on the second loop and they're heading towards the second lot of bonuses. And interesting to see Marcus Hellner this time starting to make a move. He needs to be careful if he wants to stay on the podium. and he's some way adrift from the leaders, Mike. And if those who go for the sprint suddenly find themselves 200 metres clear, they may decide to maintain the pace and try and stay in front the whole way.
Well, that's the danger. Good to see the Canadians coming back to the front. Alex Harvey, Devon Kershaw, they didn't go for it last time. I think that was maybe a good strategy.
Nortuk starting to make a move again. He's gone much earlier this time. Colonia will be wise to the attack, and the three go side by side. Colonia, I think, knows, Mike, that winning the bonus points isn't so important, but getting some bonus points is all he needs to do to secure Tour. 200 metres to go. It's down to about 150. Nortuk on the left-hand side. Dario Colonia this time watching him very, very closely. Over the top of the rise. Little downhill. The ski speed will be important here. And Nortuk will trust his double poling speed, I think. Here he goes again. He ups the pace. Only Nortuk and Colonia going for this one. Is that Harvey in third place?
Harvey definitely. Nortuk's broken them.
Yeah, they got away with a cheap sprint that time. Very, very cheap. Easy money.
Well, Devon Kershaw, he tried to go with it, but realising maybe the next time. Colonia desperate to slow things down, and Nortuk and Kershaw trying to keep it going. Look at the damage to the rest of the field.
Yeah, that's absolutely stringed them out. We ought to pick up some of the big names who've dropping out. Sodergren, never a sprinter, down in 18th at the moment. And that, of course, has been Lucas Bauer's downfall this year. No bonus points in the sprint event. Same as last year, Mike, but what he hasn't managed to do is to make up for that with bonus seconds. He's had very few bonuses this year. Just having a look at his position, he's picked up 25 bonus seconds so far this year. Last year, he had a whole bundle. He had over 2 minutes worth.
It's so important to have the ability to change your pace. Devon Kershaw, and of course twice now Colonia's picked up 10 and Nortuk the 15.
And of course Nortuk, when we get the virtual readings for the Tour, should be safely ahead of Marcus Hellner for the first time in the Tour. Hellner winning the very first day, the prologue.
Hellner down in 20th though through the 6.6-kilometre mark, so he's suffering, he's struggling just behind Sodergren.
He's either struggling or he is pacing himself, because I think he thinks the action at the front is near on madness. Colonia, Nortuk, Hellner, now the top three. Jean-Marc Gaillard has propelled himself up into 4th place, having started the day in 9th, so he's a massive beneficiary of the bonus system at the moment, and has moved a country mile ahead of his teammate Maurice Magnificat.
Look at the climb pattern. There's the stadium way down there, and they're still to come up here where the camera is. That's Lucas Bauer now deciding this is the moment. Where's Colonia? The first time he's outside the top 5, although he's just in fact in line with the 5th position.
If I said Lucas Bauer's tactics were to let the big guns fight it out on the first 2 sprints and then try and make a break on this 3rd loop,
it's looking like that's the way he's reading it. He's realising he doesn't have the killer sprint, the double poling power, but he's got the strength, the endurance out on the track. Or has he?
Well, for me, Bauer really threw away his chances or gave away his fitness levels in the 2nd day of the Tour in Oberhof in the classic pursuit there. We saw him make a break at the halfway stage. It absolutely killed him for the rest of the race. Last year, it wouldn't have had any effect, and I think that's an indication that he's not on the same sort of form.
It's so true, and I remember just before day 1, in fact, the press conference the day before, he said that he could not have prepared any. I thought that's a dangerous thing to say. He said, listen, everybody, I'm even better than I was last year. I won it last year. You always set yourself up almost for a fall when you pick it up like that.
Well, there's no doubt that Dario Colonia is on better form this year than he was last year, and really Colonia timed his preparation to perfection, winning that 15-kilometre out at the Olympic Games in Canada, and ever since then he's been on wonderful form, the same as when he won the overall World Cup. So it's Bauer leading the way. For France, Jean-Marc Gaillard, who's moved up into 4th in the Tour rankings, he'll have his eye on a podium finish, and Hellner needs to be very, very careful if he wants to prevent that happening. Still 2 Canadians in the leading 3. Canada with 3 in the top 25, Mike. Harvey, of course, and we got Kershaw and Babikov.
I think it's quite amazing for a nation which doesn't have the budget of some of these, the dominating nations, Norway. Well, the Russians, they're having a terrible time.
Doesn't or didn't. They didn't prior to the Olympic Games.
Well, that is so true. That is so true. And they are still surviving from that input of finance. And of course, their tour bus with all the backup in this 10-bed tour bus, which the Canadians have. 3 athletes, 5 wax technicians, 1 head coach, 1 massage therapist, 1 big bus, and 1 driver. It's a huge team for 3 athletes.
Yeah, it's the way to go. But then you've got to bear in mind that the Norwegians and the Swedes, they have a tour bus just for wax, nothing else.
That's so true. And also the Swedes using a private jet now to fly down to maximise their time at home.
Not a bad time to be a professional athlete, whatever your sport. There's here Darling going through with the hat off and the glasses on. Number 41, I think that was Snorri Einarsson, great name, and he's got himself into the top 10. There's Marcus Hellner, started the day as the runner-up. I think he's got a little bit light on the wax, Mike. You can see from the technique that he is really having to compress the ski to get any grip at all. When it comes to the steep uphills, he's losing 4-5 metres every time.
It's such a pity with Hellner in second place coming into today after his great skate, but he's not such a strong classic technician as he is in the freestyle, Hellner.
Simon Ostensen there in the middle of your screen at the moment for Norway. He picked up 15 bonuses, won one of the sprints here last year, but paid a massive price for it. He also, to me, looks as though he's struggling to get the traction.
It very much. Ostensen there slipping quite badly, and that's not a very steep part of the track. So frustrating when that happens.
Yeah, he could have lost some wax since the race started. I think it's more likely that he's just a little bit too hard. Dario Colonia moving to the front again, maybe winding himself up for another dose of bonus points as they make the long climb. This is where Lucas Bauer, or maybe even Colonia, could get clear of the rest of the field.
Where's Northug? Oh, there he is, Northug, maybe about 10th position.
Well, it has been a staggering performance by Colonia. He's been in the top 5 of every event so far, except for the very first one when he finished down in 7th, but didn't give away much time. Roland Clara at the front, 23.33, going through 8.3 kilometres. They have another 11.7 to go, and of course they still have a whole load of bonus points to be won. Hellner at the back of that leading group. He's pretty much in no man's land now, Mike. Doesn't seem to be a lot of fight in Hellner. I'm just wondering whether the Swedes have made mistakes with the wax today. Such a cruel blow if that is the case. What about Hellner's performance yesterday, Mike? Will he be suffering, or 2 days ago, will he be suffering from that?
Oh, I think so. The way that and it was a lonely race for Hellner as well. He started in 3rd place, he moved up into 2nd, and he was in no man's land. He couldn't quite pull in Colonia, and he didn't allow the chasing pack to get hold of him, so 35 Ks on his own.
And the Sodergren coming into the mix, better known as a freestyle skier, Sodergren. He's definitely one of the distance specialists. Hellner is unsteady on the skis, not looking comfortable on the downhill, not working well on the uphill, and his chance of finishing in the top 3 are vanishing by the second. 4th last year, so were he to drop out of the top 3, that would be a real blow to him, but still some way to go. Over 10 kilometres, and lots can happen between now and the finish.
Well, I mean, this is really the lead 15 beginning to separate from the rest. Just a few strong straddlers trying to close the gap. That's Sodergren. I think that's the best of the Germans.
That could well be the best. Certainly the German. Might be Tom Reichelt going through. We'll just confirm which of the Germans is up with the leaders. In fact, Jens Filbrit is still there. Jostling position as we have a look at the slow-mo. They're all jostling for position to get themselves ready for the next of the sprints. And here Darling moves to the front on the far side, also for Norway. That's number 3, of course, Petter Northug, well positioned. This time keeping a close eye on him. Martin Jaks of the Czech Republic, the leading Czech at the moment.
Devin Kershaw is not in a great position, but number 10, he needs to get himself better positioned.
Yeah, Lucas Bauer, likewise, Mike, found himself down in 6th, 7th, 8th, being overtaken on the outside of the turn, and the coaches and the course designer prior to this race saying it's crucial to be in the front five coming down into the stadium if you're going to feature in the sprints.
Yeah, so important. Geert Allen, that's interesting. He hasn't been his part yet in the sprints. I wonder if he's up front to help Northug in any way.
Well, I think he might be there to try and block out Dario Colonia and just separate some points, but I think Colonia's almost got too far ahead, and he's wise to that game, and he steps straight in front of Geert Allen. So, Northug and Colonia, a replay of the last sprint. On the far side, I'm not sure whether that's Yax or Bauer who's moved up level with him. Bauer wearing 13, Yax wearing 4. And Northug in absolutely the right position going up over the hill. It's actually Martin Yax who's going for some bonus points, but Alex Harvey fancies some for Canada as well. And so this could all change now. Colonia goes for the drive.
I was going to say, I think Alex Harvey could maybe take Colonia, but no, too late.
Not interested. Martin Yax looking for 10 instead of 5, or will it be exactly the same order as last time? Nortug's got this one in the bag again. That's 3 out of 3. What's he going to have left at the end of the race? 27:30 of racing already, but Northug just 5 seconds by 5 seconds, closing down on the event leader. But I'm not sure he can do anything. He does need some help from his teammates. He needs someone to get in between himself and Dario Colonia. But he wins the 3rd sprint and closes the gap at the top. Closer and closer to the climax of this men's 20-kilometre mass start at the beginning of the day, staggered only from their ranking in the Tour de Ski. 3 sprints have been completed. Each and every one has been won by Petter Northug, who said his sprint had gone. He's on form and he's looking very good at the moment. My question now, Mike, Northug, Colonia, 1st and 2nd in all 3 of the sprints so far. Will they feature at the end of the race going for the line, or are they going to be too tired?
I think they'll still feature, Patrick, because the way Colonia is so focused, he knows that he's to pick up about 40 seconds bonus, and then tomorrow should be a cruise for him, just like a lap of honour going up that massive climb at the end of the Tour.
A little injection of pace from Alex Harvey. Devon Kershaw at the back of that group. Number 15, yes, that's Tom Reichelt from Germany. And the Germans disappointed. They lost Angera right on day 2. They lost Axel Teitmann on day 4. And one of the teams being hit badly by illness.
This is a great move by Alex Harvey. He's taken the initiative. He's seen how this thing has played out 3 times now. So he knows to have a chance of picking up 15 seconds, he has to break early. He cannot leave it with 500 metres when Northug and Colonia are in the pack.
Yeah, Alex Harvey started 1:56 behind Dario Colonia, but he was only 1 second down on Martin Yax, who has picked up some bonus points. So Alex Harvey needs a load of bonuses. First little slip from Petter Northug, stamping the skis down. You can see the clister underneath, hoping that it's going to get grip all the way around.
That's Hellner and Jan Mayen behind him.
Jan Mayen, specialist in the classic style.
Coach is picking up the drinks bottles from the feed station. Well, there's 18 still out at the front, and then it's quite a big separation now, Patrick, back to 19th place, so it's 31 seconds back to Dupik. Well, Alex Harvey tried, but it didn't work.
looks as though Dario Cologna is going to win the sprint standings in the Tour de Ski. He headed the table today, having picked up, as we said, 2:58. He's already picked up 30 seconds, so he moves on to 3 minutes and 28 of bonus seconds so far.
Just looking at Babikov's, I thought there would be 3 Canadians in a 28th position. Babikov, the 3rd Canadian. Two Italians, Roland Clara and Giorgio De Centa in this lead 18. There's De Centa at the back of the group. He's just trying to see any more of his teammates around, but there's a big gap developed now.
Well, that's a significant break, and Alex Harvey largely responsible in recent times. We've got Cologna still in the front of the pack. He's never been outside the top 8, Mike.
Well, that's him 8th. He's letting it slip a little further back than normal at this stage, Patrick, for when he lines up for his 10 points.
Somehow
10 seconds.
Yeah, he does somehow seem to find his way through. Einerson and Miranda, number 41, 42, they've done well to get into the front group, and they are absolutely streaks behind, 12 minutes behind the leader in the Tour, and I don't think they can expect to get higher than the top 35, but there are World Cup points to be won today. There's money, of course, at stake, 5,000 Swiss francs for the winner of today's run. Alex Harvey leads the climb. 2 Frenchmen, one behind the other. Jean-Marc Gaillard in front of Vincent Vito, who was the French number 1. I don't think he can claim that anymore. Hasn't been a brilliant season for Vincent Vito. Be nice to see him get back to his best form. There you have Cologna down in 7th, Ben and Nortug down in 9th. Those two watching each other like eagles. And Giorgio De Centa, who finished in 10th place last year, is still at the back of this leading group.
Looks like Helner is beginning to struggle even more. You can see it, the expression on his face. The wax maybe isn't as good as it could be, but they're slipping so badly. That is so frustrating.
Yeah, but what's really frustrating, Mike, is that he's been slipping from the start of the race, and it really has ruined his hopes of winning the Tour de Ski. He started today in 2nd place, just 1 minute and 11. If he had picked up the bonuses that Nortug had got, we would have had a really good encounter tomorrow. But I think Helner is out of it now. He's not going to make up any ground. The leading group are slowly winding it up as they sense the finish. Men in that lead group at the moment. One more bonus to go before they then go for the finish line, and still only 35 minutes on the clock. Looking at the winning time last year, 59 minutes and 3 seconds from Lukas Bauer, and a similar sort of game, although he did push the pace early on. Dario Cologna, well, he hasn't shown us a single weakness this year.
Maybe we'll see some weakness this time round, but no, there he is, the man in black.
Yeah, he's moved to the front again, somehow found his way through. He has a German on his right-hand side.
In fact, that's Kurt Perl actually up front now, but the Swiss suit, Cologna's in 5th now.
Well, that would be ironic if it was Kurt Perl who got between Nortug and Cologna. I don't think that's going to be happening. There'll be a few angry words if that happens. Giorgio De Centa there at the back of the pack wearing 17. He's got Lukas Bauer just a little bit in front. The Czech with drawn the unlucky bib of 13 today, and it doesn't seem to have worked for him. He's not featured in the sprints, and in fact Lukas Bauer really, Mike, starting to fall into the same category as Anders Södergren. just a lack of fast twitch fibres, which puts you out of contention nowadays in so many races. The mass starts, you have to be able to sprint at the finish. The Tour de Ski, there's no doubt, you now have to be a sprinter as well of some renown.
In this year, or certainly in recent cross-country racing, as you say, you must be able to, especially the arm power here, the double pulling power, you need to be strong, and you can train for this. Then Cologne, look at that, Nortug, Cologne, Alex Harvey, Curtin Pearl's trying, so those three, Nortug, Cologne, Harvey again.
Well, Curtin Pearl is still on the shoulder of his teammate, maybe trying to block out Alex Harvey and stop him getting any more bonuses. Can anyone challenge Nortug? It is as if Nortug is just being gifted these sprints. Again, he goes clear. All he has to do is make sure he leads the way up the steep hill, and then they're handing him the sprint on the plate. They know it's just not worth the effort of trying to overtake him, because he cannot let that competitive edge go. 37.23 on the clock. Another 15 seconds for Nortug. So that is 5 out of 5, and he's getting closer and closer, but with Cologne picking up the 10, it's minimal amounts. Had Cologne been blocked out and not got any bonuses today, we would have had the two of them starting less than 20 seconds apart in tomorrow's finale. So, Nortug, Cologne, this time it's Curtin Pearl who gets 5 seconds, and that won't do him any harm. He started today in 6th place, and that's a big improvement on the 15th that he got last year, and we should get the overall readings in just a minute. Now, Mike, again, the question, can these two, Nortug and Cologne, go for the win as well as all the bonuses?
I think they will. There's 3 more times, obviously, round this point here until the 20-kilometre marker. So the way that they're playing it every time, no one is even challenging them. But look what it's doing to the top of the field in the Tour standings.
Devon Kershaw, well, he's clawed back a bit of time. He was 10th at the start of today, goes up into 8th. But remember, at the start of the long leg into Dobiaco, he was the runner-up in the Tour.
The big hitters descend on Doha for a final warm-up before the Australian Open.
Oh my goodness. What a point.
ATP Doha, the final. Today at 2:45 p.m. live on British Eurosport 2.
Welcome to Val di Fiemme. Well, this is the scene at the front of the Tour de Ski. Fascinating race so far, but it's a similar story being played out on each lap. A 3.3-kilometre lap, so 6 laps of that to make up the 20 kilometres today. And, of course, bonus points every time round. They have got one more lot of bonuses to come before the finish, and then they get another bonus for finishing in first, another 15 seconds. So possibly another 30 seconds to be won. At the moment, Nortug, well, he's won plenty of bonuses, but if he wants to get anywhere close to Dario Cologne, Mike, he's got to make a break on this last loop and try and get 30, 40 seconds clear.
Yeah, I think so. But look at Cologne again. He's played that top 5, top 8 game all the time. There's Nortug, maybe just going for that strategy you talked about. He seems to be going earlier this time. There's still, in terms of bonus seconds, so 30 left.
Yeah, all credit to Nortug. This is a big ask, but he knows that if he wants to have a chance, and he does want to start tomorrow with the hope of winning the Tour de Ski, going one better than last year.
It seems like he's that armour that Nortug has, the confidence where he looks at people and says, come on, challenge me. He's got that self-confidence back, which he was lacking, I think, at the beginning of the Tour. So, well, they all need to watch out for the World Championships now. He is back.
Yeah, I don't think he was in 100% health. He was ill at the beginning of the season, missed the early rounds up in Kershaw, and it's taken him a while to get back to anywhere near his best.
And he must have a lot of doubt, Patrick, in his own mind when he had so many medical checks carried out after finishing 47th in a Norwegian club race to qualify for the World Cups. He was way off the boil at the end of November.
Yeah, very early into the herringbone for out of the tracks at all, so he's still got some fine wax on his skis. Slightly strange, Mike, that Danny Rickardson's got good wax, whereas Marcus Hellner has really been struggling.
And so I've noticed that as well. Sundgren in this league group, so you would expect all the players in your same team to have the same wax on.
So the chances are that they're on the same wax, but Marcus Hellner maybe has gone a little bit short or a little bit thin.
Maybe a little bit thin. 20 kilometres. I know it's soft snow, but you need to make sure you've got the grip. There is so much climbing. I think maybe fatigue is playing a huge part for Hellner as well. When you haven't got your strength, you can't transfer your weight as dynamically to compress the ski.
There's Anders Sundgren, distinct technique from the man in 24. Very good distance skier. But ever since the formats have changed, he really came into skiing 10 to 15 years too late, because if he'd been around with Gunnar Svan, I think he would have swept up some prizes, because everything in those days was time trials, and that's what suits his abilities.
Yeah, his psyche is all about out there on his own. That's where
racing yourself, yeah.
Against the clock. 15 kilometres coming up.
So once they go through this point, they have another 5 still to go. This climb has proved to be crucial in the positioning for the sprints. Petter Northug lets himself just drift off the lead, having had good position earlier on, going very early into the herringbone for Petter Northug, so the wax is not particularly good. And this is an opportunity for Lucas Bauer to get away, whose skis are still working well.
That's the first weakness we've seen from Northug, Patrick, and 41 as well. So two Norwegians struggling a bit with the wax.
Yeah, Einarsson also struggling a little bit on that steep climb. They've gone for the untracked section, as the grip tends to be better. Djupvik has lost contact with the leading group and is, I think, about to be swallowed up by the chasing pack, which contains Marcus Hellner, who started today as number 2 in the Tour. He could possibly, Mike, drop out of the top 10. That would be a really cruel blow for Marcus Hellner, and it's not all his own fault.
It's not entirely, but he is totally tired. In fact, there he is. He's going to be, what, 24th, 23rd position?
23rd for today, 1 minute 3 seconds off the leaders, and that puts him back to around 2 minutes 20 behind. He could drop down as far as 15th, 16th in the Tour, but still some way to go. Another 5 kilometres to complete, so who knows what might happen. If they start playing cat and mouse at the front, that chase group could quite easily make contact with them again. There's the first slip from Northug, first bad sign. And I think that would have put a few butterflies through the Norwegian coaches' stomachs.
Yeah, and slip there, I mean, everyone, it's such difficult, warm conditions. Colonia slipping there as well. You do try to keep your skis in the tracks as long as you can, and until you slip, then you have to break into the herringbone.
No facial expressions from Colonia, Mike. He certainly doesn't seem to have broken into a sweat yet. He doesn't appear to be breathing heavily. No grimace. It all looks too easy for him.
I think that's a good mask, though. It's like Federer, isn't it? You never see expression, and I think it's just the same personality type where he doesn't let much away. He does say, though, later in the day after the press conferences, of course he's tired. He says it's
Austinson, I think, has pulled out.
It is.
Decided he's had enough. He was one of the men slipping earlier on. Now a chance for him just to cheer on his teammate Petter Northug. Northug had his 26th birthday 2 days ago when they did the long tour from Cortina to Dobiaco, and the whole team brought him in a cake, singing away on that evening. And so his celebrations went long into the day off. Not perfect preparation, but he said he still felt fantastic compared to this time last year. Number 4, Martin Jacks, maybe wanting another taste on bonus points. Gaillard isn't going to let him, I don't think.
Northug slowed down, looked around him when he was allowing Cologne to go ahead. Is he that confident that he can let Cologne go ahead at this stage and still take him to the line? I think so.
Well, you have to think in terms of sprinting with the least amount of effort, and the way to do that is to track your main rival bit by bit. He's gone from quite a long way out, he draws level, and he will tease Dario Cologne all the way to the bonus line. Unbelievable that these two have dominated the bonus sprints, and through they go. 200 metres to go. In fact, it's hardly, you can hardly call it a sprint now, Mike, but someone could catch them unawares, and if Petter Northug gets the 15 seconds for skiing at this speed, it means that he'll be in a reasonably good shape to challenge for the win in the race as well. 100 metres to go now, and it's the same order with Northug leading, Cologne in second. I think that's Martin Jaks of the Czech Republic rather than Lukáš Bauer in third.
And Cologne is just saying to himself, no, well, I've got no chance of beating Northug, so I'll go for the 10 seconds rather than 15.
Still keeping half an eye on it. Easy bonus.
So there's the bell, Patrick. Last 3.3 kilometres. They're on now.
So that was the last of the bonus seconds. Another 15 picked up by Petter Northug, and we'll once again get the virtual reading. Now the last one could be crucial, Mike, because if Northug can manage to put up a phenomenal pace on the last loop, if only he can open up 30 seconds over Cologne and get the 15, that might make it very close indeed.
Well, look at this. It looks to me like he's reading that same thought.
Well, there are the bonus seconds, so another 5. So Northug really has only gained 25 seconds on Dario Cologne, which should put him 1:24 behind Cologne in the virtual standings. We'll get confirmation of my mathematical abilities in a moment. Seldom are they right, but it is quite complicated. But yeah, Northug's lost count as well. Yep. Yeah, Kjell-Erik Christiansen, the MC for the event. There you get 1:23.7. We'll settle for that. And Martin Jaks now 2:37 behind. So those two are out on their own. Great competition for third place in the Tour. Gaillard is up there. Jaks has a chance. Lukáš Bauer down in 10th. I think his chance of retaining the title has long gone now, with just over 3 to go.
Northug has tried on this final lap of 3.3 to take it, but Dario Cologne straight away is onto his case and says, no, there's 2 of us here. And yeah, Bauer still trying to hold on to third.
Yeah, Martin Jaks and Lukáš Bauer, it'd be interesting to know how much each other's presence is helping the other, Mike, because they do so much training together, fighting all the time. They know that they're as good as the other person, and it just gives you that little bit of a boost. When you're feeling bad, you know if your teammate can do it, you know you can do it.
So true, and that's where I was hoping for Canada and Alex Harvey and Devin Kershaw. I thought they might spur each other on. They really tried, but exhaustion.
Little burst coming in from Jean-Marc Gaillard on the outside for France, and he's being tracked by Devin Kershaw. Good to see Devin Kershaw coming back into this one. He's not going to give up a podium finish without a fight, but he does need to open up a gap over some of his rivals in the closing 2.5 kilometres. 18 going through, the familiar style of Jens Philbrick. 24 dropping off the pace. Anders Södergren, he hasn't, quite rightly, hasn't challenged any of the sprints so far today. But I think after that very first sprint, Mike, that Northug caught everyone by surprise. I think they then said, he is sprinting okay. There is no point contending it.
It was quite straight, yeah, you could feel that. Of course, Cologne tried for the first couple to stay with them, and really tried, and there was no chance of him beating him to the line. So you're right, they all backed off shortly after that. I saw a Russian flag running along the side of the track, Patrick. The best of the Russians is the least experienced Russian, is Yaparov in 22nd position at the moment, and Turchev in 26th position.
Well, what about the Tour leader, Alexander Legkov, or Sasha as he's known? He's not quite the full ticket because he doesn't sprint. He's like Södergren, but maybe not quite as bad. Legkov has been having a few troubles on on the illness front.
Well, that's right. He was sharing a room with his teammate Chernosov, and he was sent home on day 2. Letkov got the same bug on day 4 when he was in 3rd place, but he had to, his body temperature were up to 38.6. So he had to pull out of the tour.
And what's sad is that may ruin his chances of winning the overall World Cup, because of course coming into the World Cup he had quite a comfortable lead over Dario Colonia, but that is not the case anymore. Colonia's picked up a massive bundle of points in the individual races. If he wins tomorrow, which looks very likely, it's another 200 points, so he'll be at least 300 points clear of Letkov and a streak ahead of the rest of the skiers as well. So once again, the winner of the Tour, hot favourite to win the overall World Cup.
So true, and we've only got 35 men standing at the moment. Some more might pull out by the end of the race. That's from what we have 86 started on first day.
If they reduced the World Cup points on offer for the Tour, Mike, but increased the money, the prize money, do you think we'd still get the same sort of entry?
I think we would, but I also, no matter how you play it, I think that if it's going bad for you early on, then there is no point thrashing yourself for 8 days on a 10-day tour, because it can affect the rest of your season.
But that's exactly what I'm saying, is you are out of contention for the World Cup overall if you don't do well in the Tour de Ski, and I'm not sure it should have quite that influence over the whole season.
I see what you mean. Maybe there should be a look at the awarding of points here. How could they play it differently? But, you know, it is worth, if you're strong enough, it is worth staying to make the top. There's only 35 still standing, and that's because they know they can pick up points if the top 30 in the Tour de Ski.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot to be won, but if you get ill, you do not race. It's as simple as that. Should Dario Colonia get ill tonight, that might be a different matter, because he could have a minute and 10 seconds lead going into the final day. It will take a pretty bad dose of flu, I think, to put him out of action. Nice to see number 7 coming through, Danny Rickardson, who featured early on. He's decided to go for broke with 1,700 metres to go. Northug still at the front. Colonia in runners-up position at the moment, but keeping a careful eye on the Swede. For Italy, we have Roland Clara having a fantastic day today, and Giorgio De Cendra at the back of the pack, still hanging on, but you can see from the way he's skiing that this is really hurting.
It's just his mind, the strength of his mind, the oldest man on the tour. You can see how much that's hurting Giorgio at the back there. Thought that, well, 3 Frenchmen still in this top group. Rickardson's off trying to take this victory from here.
Well, Rickardson not really a challenge.